Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Ainatul Nabila binti Muhammad Razali, and my matrix number is 289559. Firstly, I want to explain our introduction on this assignment, which is gross domestic product. Firstly, gross domestic product, also known as GDP. GDP is only domestic territory, market value of final goods and services. GDP is production of goods and services who can provide jobs. Alright, gains in total production typically correspond with increase in marginal productivity from each residence, which raises average income, boosts consumer spending, and raises living standard. In economy, there are four main ways to boost productivity. Firstly, increase worker human capital or their level expertise and specialization. Next, technological advancement that increase efficiency. Not just that, increasing the availability of capital commodity or physical capital, which are tools and resources in both quantity and quality. Lastly, uh, from production goods and services, they can earn income that can use for goods and services. Next, I will explain about unemployment rate. Unemployment rate who are in working age is not able to get job but would like to be in full-time employment. So they have four types of employment, which is demand deficient, frictional, structural, voluntary.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Wan Nur Anisa binti Warazali. My street number is 288233. I would like to present the trend of the unemployment rate and economic growth in Malaysia for 10 years. Firstly, the figure in the slide shows a line chart of the unemployment rate and economic growth in Malaysia from 2012 to 2021. The blue line represents the unemployment rate, while the orange line shows economic growth. From 2012 to 2019, we can see both lines in the chart are up and down and stable. However, due to COVID-19, the economic growth between 2019 and 2020 suddenly fell from 4.4 to negative 5.6%. Hence, the unemployment rate slightly increased from 3.3 to 4.5%. In 2021, the economic growth slightly went up as an improvement after taking several recovery strategies to deal with the crisis. Yet the unemployment rate has not decreased because it was still in healing process. Thus, the unemployment rate changes relate to the movement of economic growth. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tun Howard. My matrix number is 28998. So I'm going to talk about the relationship between unemployment rate and economic growth. In order to optimize the national productivity, full employment is essential. The unemployment rate has an impact on Malaysians' gross domestic product, which is GDP. According to Okun's law, a 1% reduction in unemployment rate could result in a 2% rise in GDP growth. However, the impact varies based on the location, research method, and time frame. So, from the figure above, we can see the unemployment rate of Malaysia remains stable from 2012 to 2019, which is right before pandemic COVID-19 happened. The unemployment rate of Malaysia shows a 3.1 in 2012, 3.162 in 2013, 2.8 in 2014, 3.0 in 2015, 3.44 in 2016, 3.4 in 2017, 3.3 in 2018, and 3.26 in 2019. While the economic growth of Malaysia remains stable in the same time too, which is 5.55 in 2012, 4.7 in 2013, 6 in 2014, 5.1 in 2015, 4.4 in 2016, 5.8 in 2017, 4.8 in 2018, and 4.4 in 2019. However, after the year 2019 until 2021, the unemployment of Malaysia increased dramatically and economic growth of Malaysia decreased harshly too, which is the unemployment rate increased from 2026 to 2000 to from 3.26 to 4.5 in 2019 to 2020 and 4.61 in 2021. And the economic growth decreased from 4.4 to negative 5.6 from 2019 to 2020 and increased a bit back to 3.1 in 2021, but still far lower than the economic growth from 2012 to 2019. So it shows a negative relationship between unemployment rate and economic growth, where the unemployment rate increase, the economic growth will decrease in the same time.
Good afternoon to Sir and my teammates. My name is Gon Yong Kwan and metric number 289626. And I'm going to present about 3.1 theoretical review, which cover two aspects, which is unemployment rate and economic growth. I will be explain these two components in details to compatible with the theoretical review. I will start off with unemployment rate. Unemployment rate can be defined as proportion of the labor force that is not currently employed but could be in future. People or citizens that qualify for certain job but do not have a job also considered as unemployment. Hence, unemployment also can be explained as total number of people who are not in labor force or do not have a job. Thus, the number of unemployed people will be measured as percentage of labor force and it's seasonally adjusted. On the other point of view, economic growth can be defined as a rise of production in goods and services within a country. In fact, there is four ways to increase economic growth, which is improving human capital, improving technology, increasing size of workforce, and also increasing the quantity in capital goods. Generally, gross domestic products are often related to economic growth as a metric to measurement, since it is represent the final goods and services which produce or manufacture by a country within a year. In short, both gross domestic product growth rate and unemployment rate are unstable since the data shows the ups and downs throughout the 10 years period between 2012 and 2021. That's all the explanation about these two components from me. The next slide will be present about empirical review. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Farsaika bin Muhammad Fauzi and my number metric is 289682. Today, I would like to present my part, which is my part is empirical review in the topic unemployment and economic growth. In this video, I just explain some of my empirical review that I got from my research. According to Swain and Wistron 2006, they look the connection between Sweden gross domestic product and the employment growth. And they found that between these two have a strong and positive link. The outcome validated that there is strong correlation between RGDP and employment is typical. So that any perceived increase in employment rate is only a filtration anomaly. Next, according to Asoluka and Okezi 2011, in Nigeria from 1985 to 2009, which is they look the link between unemployment and economic growth, and they found that the two are inversely related. According to Aminu, Manu and Salihu 2013, they look how unemployment and inflation affected the economic development from 1986 to 2010 in Nigeria. The studies that they're doing show that unemployment and inflation was advantageous for Nigeria economy development. Next, according to Zagler 2006, this person who investigate the UK's 1982 to 1999 in the relationship between economic growth and unemployment. End of the research, Ziegler revealed that have a direct link between unemployment growth and a booming economy in the UK. Last but not least, according to Zaleha 2007, she looked at the connection between output and unemployment in Malaysia using Okun technique of research. The results show that this connection between output and unemployment have a conflict between each other. That's all for me. Thank you.
My name is Dejing Wei, and check number is 28948. I will talk a conclusion. Economic growth is a continuous economic process for the better over a certain period. It can also be interpreted as a process of increasing the production capacity of the economy in the form of an increase in national income. Economic growth is how a country can increase the output of economic production accompanied by ideological adjustments. The higher the level of economic growth, the faster the process of increasing output. Unemployment is an economic situation in which existing employment capacity is not fully utilized. Unemployment is the labor force that wants and is willing to work but has not yet found a job, while the unemployment rate is the percentage of the total labor force who do not get a job compared to the total labor force. Economic growth and unemployment rate are interrelated because the two concepts are interrelated. The unemployment rate is an economy can affect the rate of economic growth, while the unemployment rate is also an indicator of the state and economy's economic growth determine. When the unemployment rate falls beyond this desired level, it becomes a loss of economic growth. This relationship between economic growth and unemployment rate can be explained in terms of the required output of the service provided by employees needed to sustain the economy and to promote economic growth. When unemployment is high, the level of the output also declines due to reduction in the number of workers contributing to output. This can be drawn from the fact that unemployment rate is the highest during periods of economic downturn. The opposite occurs during booms or periods of growth in the economy. The relationship between economic growth and unemployment can also be seen in how unemployment denies the government of the resources which needs to economy. When workers are unemployment, they are unable to earn a living and the government loses the income tax that normally accrue to these workers. On the other side, the government may force to spend resources that could be committed to other development projects in the form of various types of benefits for the maintenance of unemployment workers. Thank you.